All right, the next portion of this press conference is going to be an education. It's going to look into how officers are trained, whether it be in the academy or here at the department. It will also be an education on how we evaluate officers' use of force and conduct in public. It's going to take a little while, so be patient with me. We're going to give you in roughly 20 to 30 minutes what instructors take 96 hours just to get the baseline training on. But we're going to give you hopefully an education today that gives you a little bit more insight and visual, if you will, in terms of how we evaluated this investigation, this incident, and then the officers' training. So let's begin. So that we're all on the same page, we analyzed 4 videos. What went public was only one video, and this is it. So this was the first video that everyone watched on YouTube.
Bullshit!
Can I get his name, please?
Can I be ready too?
Sure.
I thought you so that we could say who took it.
I don't know. That's completely fine.
The supervisor told me to right now.
That's fine. Can I get his name, please?
I'll give it to you.
All right. Gladly.
How are you involved in this? How are you involved in this?
I'm just his friend.
Okay, he's getting a ticket.
Okay.
He's carrying an alcoholic beverage out, and I'm standing over there.
That's fine.
I'm going to jail for lying, too.
Can I get your name?
It'll be on his ticket.
Alright.
Doesn't concern you. Doesn't concern you. Why you push me over nothing? Hey! Don't go after a cop.
Which way?
No, he did push you over nothing.
WICKLUND.
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. I'm going to send you to jail. Well, what did I do? I stood there and you pushed me?
No, you didn't. I have it on camera. We're good.
That is the problem.
Once this officer comes and I get his
What did I
name,
do?
In Brooklyn. WICKLUND. WICKLUND.
What did he do? What did he do? Are you serious? What did he do? What the fuck did he do? What did he do?
why is he getting arrested too now? Why is he getting arrested too?
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Hey, Joshua! Joshua!
Fuck you.
Oh my God! Why is
I know.
No, that's my friend. No.
That was brutal.
What did Jack do? What the fuck? No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Jake that looked basketball looks like a tall baby?
Oh no, that's Jake right there. You guys back?
I thought it was you. I was like, holy fuck. He did that to himself.
Nothing happened. That's okay. Hey, no, the cops, literally, a dude came and asked what went wrong. The cop literally turned and shoved him to the ground.
He pushed the house. I saw that.
Oh no, it's after the cop pushed him first.
How is Jim? Everybody go! Everybody go!
Controlled substance outside of body. But it's gonna be for this thing. You can't do anything about it. He fucked up.
Going to jail! Everyone get out of here now! This bullshit!
I'm just waiting for a cab.
Walk away, get it someplace else. Do not stay here. You will go to jail.
Look at her,
seen that video, that's the one that went public. We had the privilege of looking at a number of different videos, one of which was from the Stirrups bar. And this is from above the crowd, and to set it into context so everyone understands, this is the point where, this is Officer Wickland right here. You're going to see him walk over to this location right here, put his back up against the wall and act as a cover officer, while Officer Connolly effects the arrest of Mr. Wheeler. So the events now take place here. In particular interest here is in the Lorberger video, when Mr. Wenzel gets pushed away, you can hear the F-U, F-U, the language, but you can't see what's happening. So by watching this video, this gave us a little bit different perspective in terms of those events. There is no audio. So again, this is the officer, he positions himself there. There's Mr. Wenzel getting pushed back. Pay attention to his arms. And he's taken out into the street. Okay, so we had an opportunity to look at that as well. That gave us another angle to look at things. This is a squad Coban video. This video is from Officer Tom Connolly's squad car that's parked in the street. And to put this into context, what you'll see is Lieutenant Mahoney's vehicle come and park in front here, which is the vehicle eventually that Officer Wickland stuns Mr. Wenzel up against, and then the arrest procedure on the ground happens right out in front here. So let's take a look at it. I'm going to move it forward just because really there's going to be nothing here for a while. It's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And now remember, this is at normal speed. So here's the squad. This is Lieutenant Mahoney pulling up. You're going to see Mr. Wenzel and Officer Wickland come from this side. So we're going to play that for a while. Just going to let it go a few minutes for here, and eventually Mr. Wenzel is going to be assisted to his feet and escorted off camera, and I'll stop it. Okay, now here's our fourth video that we're going to show. This video now is from the Nines bar, if you will, looking south. I'm going to advance this as well so that we can put some things into context to understand why Officer Wickland even initiated contact with Mr. Keppel, who is the individual that was seen on the sidewalk walking with an open intoxicant. So I'm going to move this up. And you will have the whole video to watch later on if you want to. And trust me, it's there's people coming and going, and all right, here's Mr. Couple. He walks out of the bar, clearly drinking something in his hand, right? There's a little bit of alcove here. And this is what the officer sees right from here. Steps out, no longer has whatever was in his hands. That's why Officer Wickland is making contact with him. Of interest as well, as you watch here, which is small, but Mr. Wheeler interjects himself into this contact. And right in this area right here, you'll see officer place himself. This is the officer who's placed himself close to that wall. Again, that's for his own safety, put his gun side there. And this Mr. Wheeler right there interjects himself. So that's Officer Wickland moving him back, trying to create some space. Right now the crowd becomes a little bit angry. There's some language, profanity, what have you. So the officer moves Mr. Keppel away from the crowd to deal with him and talk to him about the underlying offense. And we're going to let this play in its entirety to the point where you will also see Officer Wickland and Mr. Wenzel go up against Lieutenant Mahoney's squad. So I get everybody on the same page in terms of what I'm looking at and what we're evaluating. Was the point where he's telling Mr. Wheeler it didn't concern him, things of that nature. That's Mr. Keppel, the open intoxicant individual, walking out into the street. So here's Officer Conley coming back in to take Mr. Wheeler into custody. That's Officer Wickland, and here's Lieutenant Mahoney pulling up with his squad. Again, just trying to put some things into context for you. And then you will see Officer Wickland and Mr. Wenzel move out into the street. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so we're on the same page of what video we looked at. Now, we also had the officer's report as well to read and evaluate, to understand. And so now we're going to go into looking at how we evaluated this incident. And before I go on, I want to reference a couple of manuals, first of all. First of which, on the left-hand side, is the Defense and Arrest Tactics Manual. This is the most current issue as of August 2007. All officers that go through a preparatory recruit academy in the state of Wisconsin are trained the 49 DAT competencies that are contained inside that manual. The other manual on the right that I'll talk about and reference as well is our professional communication skills. This manual outlines all of the skill sets and knowledge and abilities we give officers on the front end to be professional communicators, and some of the ways to control individuals verbally, but to also understand what people are saying back to you as well. So as we move